So we're going to get everybody, put on video tab, please. All right, start from the very beginning. It's ahead. No, start it, pause. Start it from the very beginning.
So as we're all very much aware, we are living through a chopped man epidemic, and there's a big shortage of baddies. It's gone so bad to the point that, like, if I see an attractive man, it genuinely makes my day. I was walking on the sidewalk earlier, and I saw a cute guy in his car, so I waved to him, and he smiled back at me. And obviously he drove away after that, but I was like, oh my God, a cute guy? This was at 6:50 p.m. It's 7:17, and I'm still like, oh my God. And I feel like this is going to power me through my evening. Like, wow, I actually saw an attractive man today. Like, diamond in the rough, needle in the haystack. Seriously. So
all right, pause
all
it.
very much.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, maybe in the audience, chopped means ugly. So when she's saying there's essentially when she says a chopped man epidemic, she's saying there's an ugly man epidemic. Do you guys, just curious, do you guys agree?
I disagree. I feel like...
And just one final addition to this. I've heard a lot of criticisms from women that they think there's way more physically attractive women than there are men. You'll see pretty women all the time, but then you'll like rarely see... This is what I've heard a lot of women say. You'll rarely see like good-looking or attractive guys. So why don't we? Yeah, we'll start with you since you wanted to go first.
I feel like I disagree. I feel like there's women, like, not that like this is like the difference, but like a woman can like get ready and do all this stuff. Like I feel like for guys, there's not really much that they can do to like enhance anything. So I feel like to say that it's not really fair because. Like that's just like naturally what they look like and stuff. But I feel like there's a lot of attractive men. I feel like there's been more attractive men than there's been like not like I feel like more because like not because of Instagram specifically, but like there's more attractive men than there was like before because actually people are starting to care about like what they look like and stuff, you know. As for back then, like people didn't really care about looks at all. As for what I know of, but
I've got an idea. I think that like girls can get boob jobs, lip filler, like, you know, hair extensions. And I think obviously, I mean, men can get Botox and stuff as well, but it's not as commonly done as women. So there's probably going to be more aesthetically pleasing women than men for that reason, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Because we can, like, there's more things that we can do.
We can improve ourselves. We've got
like
makeup,
hair, extensions, makeup.
Yeah. We can trick people into thinking we're pretty when we're not. And men can't really do that.
I think it's also regional. So, like, for example, I've been in LA for, I think, 2 days. And honestly, I haven't, like, seen one guy that I'm like, oh, he's, like, really attractive. I think it's also just my type. Back home in Florida, it's full of cowboys and actually manly men, like guys with not even muscle, but just like some fat on them. Every man that I've seen here is very feminized or just gay. And I don't know, just not really, I don't know. Maybe it's just LA, but I think it's regional. If you stick in LA, you're not going to see a lot of men.
Not as masculine, the men.
Yeah, I agree. And California, there isn't really that many. Well, not Cali altogether, but LA specifically, there is more feminine men. That's for sure. Because it's more like a fashion state. I feel like it's a lot more like fashion stuff like that. So they kind of like tend to like be a little bit more of like pretty boys. But
no, I'm telling like country bars back home. Like you walk in and. It's
like in Texas?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Texas,
I
see some sexy guys.
We experienced that when we went to Texas. We're like, whoa.
Yeah. It is a whole different ball game, that's for sure.
LA is green juice, Texas is steak.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. It's regional.
Word. Sorry, one sec, guys. I wanted to actually pull it back up because the comments were kind of interesting. All right. I wanted to ask the panel, going around the table. So she's saying she doesn't see attractive men, chopped man epidemic.
Can we also just point out that chick is fucking ugly? Can I just point out real quick that is a fucking hideous woman who's saying this? Like, just an objectively fucking ugly woman. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh,
I was going to
Andrew.
say that in a more polite way, but basically, yeah.
It
So,
looks like she's been picking her face off for the last 2 years, man. I don't know what the hell is
So,
wrong with her.
I did
but
wanna
she's a
get-
foul, hideous-looking woman.
Oh my god.
I
He said no.
I was about to ask though the panel. Do you guys do you think she's beautiful?
He's like, I'm not
Attractive?
sugarcoating nothing.
I don't think that she's a stunning 10 out of 10, but I don't think she's really, really, really ugly.
I don't think she's
Hang on,
ugly.
I don't think she's ugly, but I-
bullshit. Hang on, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. Pull it back up.
I think average
Shit.
looking, average.
Hang on. Oh, come on. Look at
Okay, maybe, wait, show me the video again. Show me again.
Oh, she was so.
Pull it up. But then just play the video. Just go ahead and play it.
So as we're all very much aware,
Oh
we
my
are
God,
living
this
through
chick's
a
face is
shock-
busted.
That's so fucked up.
You know it's true. Am I
my God.
lying though? Am I lying, or is that chick's face busted as fuck?
I feel like she doesn't really have a place to be really talking about specifics.
Yeah,
but I
she
feel like
doesn't have a
beauty
place
isn't
'cause her
always
face
about
is
how you
busted as
look.
fuck.
Beauty is not always about how you
come
look. It's about
on.
your personality. But I guess the
We're
way
talking
she's
about physical
acting
beauty right
is.
now.
Let's pull it back up though really quick. I wanted to read some of the comments on this.
So as we're
All right, scroll down. Damn, seems like you've upset the chopped men. 17,000 likes. They're mad at you because you're right. Danny, Kyra, ignore the positive.
haven't
Scroll
seen
down.
that one yet.
Scroll down.
All this man
Scroll
hate has
down.
to stop.
All this man-on-man
Scroll-
hate
keep going,
has to
keep
stop.
going.
That's hilarious.
Down, down, down. There's some interesting photos. Scroll down, scroll down,
No one's saying
going.
that she's average.
scroll down, scroll down.
Come on, this
scroll
chick
down,
is a two-bagger at least.
Scroll down.
What's a
Idiot,
two bagger?
There
Does that
were
mean when you
photos
put it
this. I'm
on
trying to
some-
find it. Keep going.
Yeah, you gotta
keep
put the
going.
bag over their head.
No,
You know
Andrew,
what a
no.
two-bagger is. Come on.
People were posting a bunch of funny
No
photos.
one's saying
but maybe she
anything
oh, she
mean.
deleted it. Wait, keep going. Just keep going though. Maybe it'll pop up. Damn, she did us dirty because they were all kinds of funny photos on photo
If
comments.
it's a million views, she
it's
could
different.
have.
That must have been very time consuming
It
for her
might be.
to.
It might be. Maybe it was just on mobile that people were making all these funny edits. Yeah.
Who does she think she is speaking about men like that when she's
I think she
got
has more
that
videos like that on
face?
her channel.
Is that her brand? She's trying to
Maybe
do?
she's
I don't
doing
know.
it for what's it called, to trigger people so that she gets more
Oh,
views.
Rage
totally,
bait.
of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure that that's exactly what she thought. She was like,
Yeah, yeah,
"What
yeah.
can me, a hideous wildebeest, do to trigger as many
my God.
men as I possibly can? Me, a busted ass, looking well below average, hideous woman. What can I do to trigger as many men as possible?" And so that's what she did.
You're right.
Damn it,
You're
Andrew.
right.
There's a lot, there's a lot of people coming to her defense, though. In fact, maybe we'll pull up my Twitter.
Also, hideous wildebeest.
TikTok is kind of like an echo chamber.
Oh, TikTok is the most, it's terrible.
Andrew's really funny.
Yeah, I find Facebook the worst.
Do you have my
Oh
Twitter?
no, TikTok is the worst. Do you know why? You know why TikTok's the worst?
Why?
Because most of the user base, it's like 60 or 70%.
Okay.
I think it's 70+% actually, is women. And so when you're on TikTok, especially when you're on the lives, you're in the mind of a woman.
Yeah.
And so it's just absolute carnage and chaos and fucking madness and stupidity all the time. That's why. That's why TikTok is fucking horrible. Horrible.
I had no idea that it was mostly women.
Oh yeah.
It
Yeah,
makes so much sense.
overwhelmingly.
That's why that. Well, I mean, obviously the comments were deleted, but it makes sense because
Well, that's why
guys
when
would be
Trump was
saying
like-
what you're saying, right?
Yeah, that's why when they were like, they're going to delete TikTok, I was like, no, they're not going to delete TikTok. There'll be 200,000 dumbass women tomorrow with signs who'll be like, don't delete my TikTok. Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be me.
never
And
delete
before
TikTok.
that,
And guess what? I was 100% right. hundreds of thousands of whiny ass women who were like, no, we have to have the Chinese invade us and fucking take over our social media because otherwise I can't post fish lip selfies with my busted fucking face. That's literally what happened.
And before that they had like Musically, they had Vine, like they were gonna make another one too. Like it was gonna like there was Musically, Vine, and then there was TikTok. So like they were gonna make another one no matter what. Like
All right,
they weren't
pull
gonna
up,
just
pull up my Twitter.
let it-
No, did you send the link? Oh, okay, yeah, scroll down. All right, scroll down. I'm going to tell you there were two girls. We're only going to watch part of it. Do the, wait, stop there. The one with the nose ring.
Oh my God, who's that? Oh God, why do you do that?
Click it.
Gross, dude.
Pause.
Terrible.
All right, video tab.
I don't know why you guys you guys are coping so hard.
All right.
Just take one look, you see the same thing I see.
Go ahead, play it.
This thing about the war going on against the chopped man epidemic girl is that she's actually quite beautiful. Hello? She's actually quite beautiful. Like, actually, dare I say, more than conventionally attractive. But you guys are brain rotted.
Okay, pause it.
Freaks.
And then X out of that.
What?
That's great to see.
And then go to the other video. Go to the other video, the one with the yellow shirt.
I'm in.
You have it? Okay. Video tab.
Oh Lord.
Play it.
The war on the side of the chop man epidemic girl. She's right. Y'all are ugly, you don't put effort into your appearances, you don't have hobbies, and you expect women to want you. And you're gonna screenshot pictures of me and her while she's talking in an effort to make her feel ugly, when in reality, you would cry of happiness if me or her or any of the women in her comment section touched you with a 10-foot pole. Why? Because you're a virgin.
Pause it. Just pause it.
This isn't real.
That's a little creepy.
This is clickbait.
Effort, but she's not either.
I know what this phenomenon is called. What happens is, when one ugly chick sees another ugly chick, they instantly compare. And the one ugly chick's like, I'm hotter than her. So if I'm friends with her and I'm out hanging out with her, I'll look pretty in comparison to this ugly broad. And so I actually see this happen all the time. That's why you see cliques of really pretty women together, and then you see cliques of really fucking ugly women together, where they're all like fat and they're hideous and shit like that. So it's literally, look, I'm sorry, but all the time, this is what I see. Cliques of really good-looking chicks, and then cliques of really fucking ugly chicks. That's what I see all the time. So there must be something going on there.
It's rage bait. Is that what it's called?
We
Rage?
have.
What do you
hold on.
consider?
We have Pasty George. Brian, why are you showing us videos of crackheads? That is a good question. Good question. A really quick question, not related to this. Just, is anybody here Christian? Just curious.
Kind of.
You? What denomination?
I would say Orthodox.
You would say Orthodox. Okay. What about you?
Lutheran.
Sorry, what?
Lutheran.
Lutheran, and then.
I'm not really sure. I went to a
Wait, can you
Catholic
scoot
boarding
the mic
school.
to the edge of the table?
Sorry. I went to a Catholic boarding school, so but I'm not
You didn't even move
Catholic.
it,
I'm
but-
just
You just touched it.
sorry.
Scoot it to the edge of the table. There you go.
I'm just kind of my own Christian. I don't really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Non-denominational.
I
Okay.
just okay.
All right. We have Pasty George. To be honest, the woman on the video who said that men today are chopped, she looks like an indigenous crackhead. Okay. He had to add a qualifier there. She's not just a crackhead, or looks like one. She's an indigenous crackhead.
Wait,
Looks like
so
she eats bad head soup.
Andrew, what would you consider like? So you're saying like that was ugly. Like, what would you consider like pretty? Because you say you see pretty girls and then you see ugly girls. Like, what would you say like your level of pretty would be?
Yeah, I don't think that attractiveness is nearly as subjective as women like to cope about, right?
Yeah.
The truth is that it seems like angular features with hourglass shapes, things like this, are universally accepted as being highly attractive, and here's why.
Don't do that.
The reason, stop doing that. It's gross.
What?
But the point is the reason for this is just think of it from a reproductive standpoint. There has to be something that signals inside of men's brains and inside of women's brains to reproduce.
Yeah.
It has to be something, right? So there has to be some features which are universal that women have. They don't look sickly.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, great. We got that out of the way. But what else?
They like take care of
Well,
themselves.
they have an hourglass type feature.
Yeah.
Wider hips, robust.
They like go to the gym and stuff.
Things like this. That's all signaling health and reproduction. That's what men are going to be attracted to.
Yeah.
Because sex ultimately is about reproduction, right?
Yeah.
So of course men are going to be attracted to youthful, women with angular features, hourglass shapes, things like this.
Yeah, like people that take care of themselves and things like that. Like they actually like care about their appearances
No, not
and
just
things like
taking
that.
care of yourself, but also there is a genetic element where there are some women who are born fucking ugly, and there's some men who are just born fucking ugly. And that's the case. That is the truth, objective truth, not sugar-coated, with no bullshit. There's some people in this world who are fucking ugly.
But at least
And
women
we
can use...
pretend that that's not the case. You can pretend it's not the case.
But at least women can use makeup and stuff like that, you know, and men can't. So it's kind of an unfair advantage.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, the amount of fakeness of women. I would actually counter and say I think that there's probably better looking men than there are women in the world. The truth is that if I go back and I just look at what women looked like in the 1800s when all of the filters weren't there, no breast implants, right? None of this shit, the rigors of hard living. Oh my God, they are. Ugh.
Yeah,
you wouldn't want to see it, right? Go look for yourself.
Yeah,
right?
I feel
men,
like
though, looked about the same as they do now.
I feel like back then too, like food and stuff was different. So it's like I feel like a lot of times a lot of things are more processed nowadays. So I feel like because back then like people would eat the same stuff and do the same things a lot of the times, but they've changed a lot of that stuff. So I feel like it's harder to keep that type of body, you know, like because everyone, if you look back in like the 50s, like everybody did have hourglass shapes, and I feel like that does have a lot to do with like the food and stuff. Like nowadays, like the processed stuff.
Right, that's
Not just
the
that,
miniskirt was
they all smoked.
in
They all
the
smoked
60s
in the
because
30s,
they
40s,
didn't
and 50s.
have as
And smoking is an appetite suppressant. And you didn't see, like, women smoked. All women smoked. Once upon a time, almost every woman in the United States was smoking. And almost every man was smoking. It was prescribed by doctors to smoke for stress, and it was an appetite curbing. That's what it did.
So are you saying like smoking is what helped people keep the hourglass shape?
It's one reason, yeah.
Keep skinny.
Yeah, and that's why people like like vaping and stuff. Like when you stop vaping, you like turn to something else. Like and then people like start doing like certain people like if you stop vaping, like they'll want to eat more, then they'll gain weight and stuff like that. And I could see why because it's the nicotine that suppresses it. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just that. You didn't have fast food. You didn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, the reason why the miniskirt was so popular in the 60s was because we didn't have as much, but we were malnourished.
Yeah.
So women were skinnier. So that's why we could pull off miniskirts. And
Very malnourished in the 60s.
Not
crazy.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
it's the opposite.
malnourished, but
It's the opposite, right?
Oh.
okay.
Like we had much better quality food.
Well, maybe, but I
40s,
mean,
50s, and 60s.
obesity levels now are much higher
still
than in the
have it?
60s.
You mean for men?
Yeah.
Sorry?
You mean for men? The T levels are lower now than they were in the 60s.
Really?
Significantly.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
Yeah, the T levels in men have been dropping off since the early 1900s like a rock.
fascinating. Thanks for
Yeah,
educating me.
there's a correlation of, there's a massive combination of factors that goes into it, but it's a mixture of plastics, diet, bad genetics. I mean, there's a whole host of issues speculated as to why, but the testosterone levels has drastically decreased in men, almost globally, by the way.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay, we have some more super chats. We have name taken,
That's
chair
pretty.
6. If your husband was in a terrible accident and he needed 24/7 care, so you had to choose between either A, quitting OF so that you could provide him with the care he needed, or B, leaving him in his infirm state so you could do OnlyFans, which would you choose?
Well, how would I be able to financially support him? Would I have to go back to doing facials? I think I would say that his medical expenses were going to be pretty high, so I'd probably have to pick up the pace, probably hire help.
Work a job. Why are you financially supporting?
No, but it's the question. It's saying if he was in a terrible accident and he needed 24/7 care.
If neither one of us are working, we live in California. We will be homeless in like 30 days if you don't pay rent here. What they give you like a 3-day evict. Like there would have to be some form of financial support, and to make sure that he had really great medical care, I would continue doing what I'm doing.
No,
and
but
hire
the
help.
question is, it's kind of an either or.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there would be other circumstances where perhaps there would be a financial impact on you, but it's quitting OF so that you could provide him with the care he needs, So that it seems like it's a time commitment. You're his caretaker. Or B, leaving him in his infirm state so that you could do OnlyFans.
Well, if we won the lotto, I would stay home and take care of him.
In the hypothetical he gave, there's nothing about winning the lottery.
Well, the thing is like when if she quit, then how would you be able to afford? You could afford to pay for care, and then
So I'd
still
have to
work
do OF
instead of
and
you
hire
both
help.
failing and then like no one working, and then all of a sudden the whole economy in the household crashes.
Please may I ask you a question? How much time does it take to have an OnlyFans account?
I'm home way more now.
Could you not do like?
Can we get an answer to the question though? I don't.
Well,
it's a hypothetical question, not
hypothetical.
Like,
okay.
Be able to afford it.
So I have no income coming in, and the logical, I'd have to do OF to support my household and to support him. So I would have to do OF.
But if you could afford
so you could do both.
Now, if I could,
hold on,
afford it, and there was
wait. Here, I'll make it super simple. I'll make it
please.
super fucking simple. Oftentimes, the state will provide benefits to a caretaker. Let's assume for the sake of this hypothetical, the amount of the benefits you receive is enough to sustain your bare bones. You can keep staying where you live. You can, food, basic necessities that the state is providing you to be his caretaker through social services or whatever. Of course, I'm assuming you make way more money than this by doing OF and you enjoy doing OF.
Yeah.
Thus, the question is, would you leave your husband so that you can continue making more money?
Well, I wouldn't leave him. I mean, I would care for him. So if I have to pick
would you quit doing
one,
OF?
So if there was income coming in, I would say 24/7. I would care for him. I wouldn't leave him.
And you would stop doing OF?
Yeah. If that was the only choice that I had, yeah.
Name taken. I hope that's
as long as there's
sufficient
some
for
form
you.
of money coming in so we can take care of him. I don't want him homeless on the street in medical
Pelagic.
necessity.
For a hummingbird.
A bright red object outside of the open door. Oh.
Chloe?
I could just
Literally just stands there.
I'm not sure that's going to work, but... All right, we got Lucas. Hey, dude, Lucas, thank you so much for the super chat. Pelagic, thank you also. Questions for the harlot of Babylon. Be honest, what does your son think about you? Turning into Priscilla. Would you want your son to marry a bottom feeder like you? Oh, shit. Gross. We just threw up in our mouths, both of us.
Well, my sons have no judgment. They're very, very supportive, and they're like, Mom, do you. If it makes you happy, do it, right? So, and then what was the rest of it? So, I mean, my sons know everything I do. I just respect their boundaries, and they're unbelievably supportive. But I've always talked with my children. So we have a very open dialogue. And if my sons married a bottom feeder like me, well, I would support them 100% in the decisions that they would make. And I would know that that bottom feeder could support my son and his household significantly well. So I would definitely support that.
All right,
I'm
Lucas.
sorry,
thank
I can
you for
get you a napkin
Thank you for the
if you
super
need.
chat, Lucas. You're a legend, sir. By the way, Lucas, is that Matthew Fox from Lost?